Hi, everybody. My name is Haley. I'll be your tour guide today. I'm a sophomore here at UNH. My major is business administration with options in marketing and management, and my hometown is East Bridgewater, Massachusetts. This is a pre-recorded tour guide or tour, and we will be showing the Peter T. Paul College of Business and Economics. So we have four majors here at the Peter T. Paul College of Business and Economics, which are analytical economics, economics, hotel and hospitality management, and business administration. So the options under business administration, you're required to choose an option here at Paul. So the options are accounting, entrepreneurial studies, finance, information systems and business analytics, which is long for what we call ISBA, international business and economics, management, marketing, and there's a student designed option where you can do a combination of a few. And there's also 7 minors here within Paul. Now we're going to check out an academic classroom, room 115.
No matter whether you're coming in declared or undeclared as a student in the Paul College, all students are assigned an advisor, and your advisor is with you for all your 4 years, and they work with you each semester to help you plan your schedule for the next semester. And as you become an upperclassman, they are also there to help you find internships and research opportunities that are available as well. Your advisor is someone who is staffed in the Central Advising Office located in the Paul College. Your advisor is the best resource if you have any questions about maybe thinking about picking up another major or looking at picking up a minor. Any questions about your academics, your advisor is the biggest resource.
Another great thing about Paul and UNH is that office hours are required by all professors and teaching assistants. So you can go to them, ask for that one-on-one help or group help. For example, in the past, I've taken this class called Business Ethics, and we had a group project. So we met with our professor in office hours to discuss our project and how we were doing and kind of some pointers of where to go. And another example being last semester, I took financial accounting, and I did struggle on the exam. So I had to go to my professor and ask for help every once in a while and be like, I need help going over exam questions. How can I do better in the future? And so far, every experience I've had in office hours has been super, super helpful. Another great thing about Paul is that we have Paul-specific employees working at CAPS. CAPS stands for Career and Professional Success. So those employees, and really, they're really, really great help. I've gone to them. So they help with resume reviews, they help you write a cover letter for an interview, and they even do mock interviews as well, specific to business and economics. So their office is actually located on the first floor of Paul. We just walked by it. Super, super convenient. And there's also the main Career and Professional Success office in the Hood House across the street. And then you can do drop-in appointments. So you can just kind of walk in. They'll have certain times set up, or you can make an appointment on this website called Handshake. So you can make appointments for certain things here at UNH, but they also have job postings around the local area and UNH specific jobs as well. I've gone on it to look for internships and to make appointments, so it's really, really helpful and useful. So another thing that CAPS does is that they put on career and internship fairs. So these are fairs where they invite a bunch of local employers to come, and they table at a fair. If you've been to a college fair, it's very similar to that, but with employers and a little bit more of the real business world. So you get to interact with those real world employers and potentially get an interview and just make that networking connection as well. Going off the career and internship fairs, internships are very, very popular here within Paul, and they're very important here at Paul. 80% of Paul students end up doing at least one internship during their undergraduate time here, and about 33% end up doing a second internship. So they're very, very important. And also, if you do an internship, it covers at least one business and practice program credit, and it's super, super easy to find internships. Applying to them at least is the easy part. Actually getting it, you need to do that work a little bit on your own. But with career and professional success and all the resources we have, and UNH is a really great school for networking and just knowing a lot of contacts and a lot of people. Some of our most popular places for students to internship are at Fidelity and Liberty Mutual. Now we're going to head to G75, one of our biggest lecture halls in Paul.
As you can see, coming down these stairs on the ground floor of Paul is this nice little common area. This area is a place that during the day is filled with students, either if they're just hanging out, going in between class to class, or some if they just have a lot of work to do. People love to hang out here. But it's not the only place that students like to hang out and do work. All throughout Paul are little collaboration rooms and breakout rooms. So if you have a big exam coming up and you want to practice with you and your classmates, you're able to utilize these, reserve them online, get the space you need so you're best ready for your exams.
And I like First thing I'm going to talk about my academic experience here at Paul, and it's been so wonderful so far. So like I said, I'm a business administration major with options in marketing and management. So far as a sophomore, I've mostly taken just business administration classes, as everyone in that major, no matter your option, has to take the same classes at first. So I've taken microeconomics, macroeconomics, introduction to business, financial accounting, managerial accounting, pretty much everything in the business administration category. All of those options, you have to take at least one class on those first, which all of those classes have been super fun. Most of them have been lectures, but a few, for example, this class I'm taking this semester called Organizational Behavior. That class is a discussion-based class, but most of them are lectures. And they're super easy, not easy, but they're really fun and interesting to me, at least, because I'm a business major and this is what I want to do. Also here at Paul College, we have tons of different programs that you can join. There are two main scholarship programs, one being the Paul Scholars. So those you get invited before your first year here, and then you get to move in early, meet all the other Paul Scholars, and you have an option to live with other Paul Scholars as well in Sawyer Hall. I happened to live with all the Paul Scholars my freshman year, even though I wasn't a Paul Scholar, but it was really nice to be around all those other students who were in a lot of the same classes as me, and they get put in the same classes together as well. So a lot of my roommate is a Paul Scholar, so she got put in a class with all the other 60 Paul Scholars, and that was pretty much the entire class. But it made the class so much easier because they knew each other and got to meet each other before school actually started. Another scholarship program is the Rutman Leadership Fellows. I'm actually a part of the Rutman Leadership Fellows, so it's about gender equity and empowering women in business. So we work on initiatives, we write articles for LinkedIn, we do like a big senior project, and that you can apply during your freshman year and start your sophomore year. Another great program is this program called FIRE. So FIRE stands for First Year Innovation Research Experience. So it's a class you take your first year, and pretty much you learn professional skills like resumes, cover letters. You meet with an alumni, and the class is actually taught by either a junior or senior here at Paul, and they get credit for it, and you also get credit for it. And you get to learn a lot of professional skills, and you also get involved in the undergraduate research conference. So that is a big project pretty much at the end of your FIRE experience, creating a business plan based on the topic of the undergraduate research conference, and it has its own FIRE category that is really fun to do. Another great opportunity here, you can do research at Paul College. So all the professors here are required to do research, so you can help them with their research if they need assistance, or there's also student-led research, which is super rare for an undergraduate to get involved in. There's tons of research centers here around UNH, and there are specific Paul research opportunities, such as the PhD Paul Financial Literacy Center and many others within Paul and within UNH as well. There's also many clubs here that are involved with Paul and the business world, and you don't have to be a business major to join most of them. So some are a marketing and advertising club. That's part, I'm actually in that club, and they put on a big marketing summit in the spring, which was super fun. We actually got to do it this past spring in person, and they had guest speakers and a keynote speaker and panels, and it was really great information and big networking event after. Another clubs is the Atkins Investment Group. There's also the Ryan's Angel Fund. There's also Women in Business. I'm also in Women in Business, so they put on also a big conference, the Women in Business Conference, that's actually happening on March 25th. And they pretty much talk about women's issues and women in the real business world. There's lots of guest speakers usually, and have great conversation about women in general in the business world. There is also the Professional Sales Group, And there's also the Holloway Prize competition. So any person here at UNH can enter the competition for a business plan and possibly win money to fund their business plan. But it is specific to business, but any major here at UNH can apply to that competition. Another great opportunity we have here at Paul is the Entrepreneurship Center, also known as the E-Center. They have boot camp and speaker series, student coaching, and a big makerspace, and all of this contributes to creating entrepreneurial minds that send out into the real world to have creative solutions. Next up, we'll be having a conversation with a professor and their experience here at UNH.
So my academic background is in the social sciences. I graduated here from UNH in 2004, actually from the College of Liberal Arts. I had my degree in sociology and justice studies. I had a master's degree in psychology and then pursued my doctorate degree in leadership. Definitely my favorite part of teaching is the interactions that I have with students. I teach a couple of courses at UNH. One is Admin 400, Intro to Business. And so that's really a foundational course that orients students to all the different functional areas of business. And I see in that class, I teach it in the fall and the spring, a few sections of each. And so I have all of our business administration students. And then also students across the university too. So that, provides me a great platform to get to know as many students in our college and across the university as possible. So I absolutely love doing that. And then the second course I teach is one of our business and practice courses. It's Women's Leadership in the 21st Century. And that one is taken by, or it's required of all of our Rutman Fellows, which is a leadership program that we have in the college, but also open to other students in the college too. And in that class, we learn about some of the sort of the barriers and challenges to women's leadership, women who have paved the way, and then sort of best practices in effective leadership and ways that our students can position themselves to lead in their own, personal and professional lives. So that's just a very different course from Intro to Business, but still, an awesome opportunity to work closely with the students in a meaningful way. I think the most important thing, to tell students who are struggling is, don't be afraid to reach out for help. That's what we're here for. We're all in education because we care about students and we want them to be successful. And so, on the very first day of class, if students aren't registered with our Student Accessibility Services office, I urge them to go there because that's really what helps level the playing field. You're putting yourself at a disadvantage if you are able to get accommodations and you're not getting them. So that's, I think, one of the more formal processes of supporting students, but above and beyond that, meeting with students just on an as-needed basis, having office hours, welcoming students in, whether that's in person or virtually, to meet with students where they're at, and making sure that everyone is getting the support that they need to be successful. If students are, raising their hand and saying, I need help and this is how, you can support me, that's my job to help in that way. Awesome. I think that whether it's research or an internship or a project, a part-time job, there's a number of ways that students can get involved in high-impact learning experiences. And so, I encourage students to do that, whether it's, partnering with a faculty member or pursuing that on their own. In my Admin 400 class, we have, weekly industry guest speakers who come in, as I mentioned, on a weekly basis. And so that provides just a really helpful networking platform, I think, for students. And then a lot of them will reach out and will follow up for, some of those internship or job opportunities afterwards. They all develop, LinkedIn profiles and learn about interview skills. It's kind of, some of that sort of foundational professional support as well. I know I'm kind of rambling. So, whether it's going for those internships or through my Rutman Fellows Leadership Program, students are publishing on LinkedIn and they're, engaging in a senior project where they're leading something through, meaningful change. And so I think getting involved in something that's high impact, whether it's an internship or research, is going to serve them well. I would say to any incoming students, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. So there's so many opportunities that'll arise, and it's really easy to say, you know, I think I'll pass on this one. But I would say as many that you can engage in wholeheartedly, the better off you're going to be, because you don't know where those opportunities will bring you. And just step out of your comfort zone. I think that goes along with it. It's challenging to do, but the more that you can sort of inch your toes out of that comfort zone, the more you stretch it, and then it becomes bigger, and again, more opportunities arise.
Now we're going to head over to our breakout room. But it's so funny because so this here is a breakout room. These are rooms within Paul that you can book and reserve space for a collaboration space to work with other students, or even book by yourself and get some work done. Really great space. There's a TV, lots of whiteboards, great space to do homework and group projects. They're super easy to reserve online. If you look up UNH Paul breakout rooms, it'll take you to a reservation page, and then click on create reservation, and then it'll show you the available times and what time you need, and you add it to your reservation, and then you do a confirmation. But it's super easy and very quick to reserve a breakout room. Another option here at UNH is that you can study abroad away from UNH, and there are some specific to business students. There being study abroad, study away, and semester in the city. So for study abroad, that means outside of the United States, and one of the most popular ones for business administration majors is Portugal. Some other popular ones for other business students would be Spain, Germany, the Netherlands, and England. And then there used to be, in the past before COVID, during a J term, meaning January term, for a few weeks, some business students would go to the Dominican Republic to study the business environment. So I've talked about these plans with my academic advisor, along with my specific Paul study abroad advisor. There are two Paul specific study abroad advisors that work with specifically business students in order to get the right business schools and the right business credits. So our next thing is study away. So those are domestic opportunities. If you don't feel like going super far from home, you can go within the United States and Canada as well. And then the last option would be semester in the city. So those, there are two options. You can go to Boston for a semester, or Washington, D.C. at the Washington Center. So pretty much those are internships more than school. So it's internship based and work based, and more than school, and you have class about once or twice a week. Now we're going to head towards the cafe in Paul, which is Cornerstone 1926. This is a great place on campus for coffee, food, and snacks in between classes. That's it. So that common room we just walked by is one of the most popular places to study and do homework in Paul. One of my favorite places to go do homework in between classes if I have some time, or if I have a meeting in Paul after classes are done, I'll do homework here before the meeting happens. Or when it's nice outside, I come out here in the courtyard and do some homework out here and do some studying in between classes as well. There's also some events held out here. So kind of why I chose Paul and chose UNH in general is because I think Paul is really professional. I believe I'm going to get a really good job once I graduate from Paul. Also, 92% of Paul graduates get a job or are in graduate school right after they graduate. So it's a really high percentage. Also, I think UNH has a really great community. Paul has a really great community. The professors are awesome. Their classes I'm actually interested in and I enjoy taking. And that concludes the tour. Thank you so much for watching today. Subscribe for future videos. There will be a tour about housing and residential life next week.